104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports, your home for big board sports and Albany Athletics. Roger Wyland, nice enough to spend a little time with us after his show, getting ready for the mighty 1-3. So, Roger, what happened? I mean, we were watching over at the Steph Q Arena. You were front and center at the game. Vermont pulls out the victory. What happened?
They had him. That's what happened. They had him.
Mm-hmm. We were hitting seats. We're yelling, let's go.
Oh, my heavens. I mean, with 8 and change to go, they're up by 9.
Goz had his shirt off, running around with paint on.
No, that's not true.
No? Oh.
I mean, we were getting crazy on the radio call. I mean, we were getting all wound up. I kept going, uh-oh.
Yeah.
That meaning uh-oh for Vermont.
Right.
So, of course, my wife texts me, why are you saying uh-oh? I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to explain this to you right now, okay? We kept going, uh-oh, like, the lead is now 9 with 8 and change to go, and everybody at Patrick Gymnasium's got this look on their face like, are you kidding me? Albany's going to come in here and do this again? And then the offense just can't produce points. That's what happened. They didn't score. I had 1 field goal in the final 8 and change. And then yet they still had the game tied with 1:13 remaining. And then they get a gift. I don't know what, as much as I respect John Becker, I have no idea what he was thinking about.
That pass?
The inbounds pass.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it wasn't there, so why are you throwing it to begin with? But, yeah, they throw the baseball pass, length of the court, and Rowley picks it off, gets it to Nichols, and you still have time.
Right.
But he, again, it's not his all on David Nichols, but time's running out. It's crazy. It's frantic. Will Brown decides not to call a timeout, okay? He decided he did not want to give Vermont a chance to set up their defense because they're so good defensively that he may be able to get a better shot when everything is crazy and people aren't in the right position. And Nichols, if he looks back at the tape, had Devontae Campbell open, had Cremo open, and he decided to launch the long 3. He was way out there and came up short, and that was pretty much the game. He probably could have, again, hindsight is what it is, right?
Right.
Take another dribble, get a little bit closer because you still had enough time to do that. At the end of the day, it's a 3-point loss and one that they certainly could have had. And they were 10-point dogs.
Well, all right. So Goz and I were watching SFQ.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good. It wasn't a gigantic group because parade day and spring break and everything. But we had a nice group of probably about 50 people.
Okay.
And we're all sitting there going nuts. So the Nichols gets fouled in the 3 to end the game, but time's not out, and the fans come on the court.
Yep.
So we're all doing the math. Okay, if they tee up.
Yep.
Vermont, that's 5 free throws. We're down by 4. We can win this thing.
And that's happened before.
And then I'm like they got to do it because then you lead Sports Center.
Yeah. Right. And I know that Will Brown was motioning to the lead official, hey, technical foul. The game's not over and they're rushing the court.
Happened at A-10 game this season, St. Bonaventure, yeah.
Yeah, and didn't get it.
Get it. And then Nichols misses the first free throw, which means all bets are off. But this team wasn't supposed to be here this year.
No, they were not, and definitely a 10-point underdog. I knew it'd be close. Will Brown just has a way of getting this team. I mean, their staff does a great job. They really do. That's one of the strengths of Will Brown and his staff is the X's and O's, especially when they're an underdog.
Right.
How to make this thing close and interesting. And they won there in 2013. They won there in 2007. And Zach and I, in a timeout, after they called a timeout down by 9, Vermont, looked at each other in a timeout on our broadcast here on 104.5 and said, they're going to win this game. They're going to win. They're going to win this game. And the fans there had just this look that was like, we are going to lose. But to their credit, the senior, Kurt Steidel, he only had 6 points. And I've seen Kurt Steidel play at Albany for 4 years now. He's a good player. He wasn't having a good game. He hit 2 big threes down the stretch. He only had 6 points, but those 2 threes were huge. And they're off and running to the NCAA tournament.
Although Vermont wins that game, Albany season comes to an end, not technically over because they're going to play in some postseason basketball.
Yeah, it's the College Insider, the CIT, College Insider Tournament.
Okay.
It costs money to play in that.
Okay.
So exactly how much money Mark Benson did not really say, but there is a fee involved. And I normally, if you look it up, like in the years past, the team that hosts a first-round game in the CIT is in the neighborhood of $35,000.
Okay.
So you're paying to to host a
So
game.
you got to sell out the
You got
arena
to try to get a little your money back somehow on Thursday night. It'd be a 7:00 game against St. Peter's out of the MAC.
Peacocks.
Yeah, the Peacocks.
I guess for some naive college basketball fans, what is the benefit of paying that fee? Is it a national stage? Is it TV? What are they going to get? Experience for next season?
Yeah, from a coaching standpoint, it is we've got a young team, a young backcourt, and Cremo and Nichols.
Yeah.
And we got guys coming back that are still hungry and want to play. Siena, veteran team this year. They lost a championship in the MAC. They decided not to pursue any of these postseason tournaments. They won the CBI a couple of years ago with Jimmy Patsos, but it was a younger team. Will Brown really feels like his team can benefit and get better by playing a few more games. So that's the reason for it.
And like I said, it's weird because you see how good Nichols and Cremo are. You forget they're sophomores.
Right. And, as Will Brown pointed out, for David Nichols, this is almost like a freshman year.
Yeah.
Because he only appeared in 5 games a year ago. So he was thrown in as a starter this year with very little experience. And Cremo, even though he had a great freshman year, he wasn't the focal point his freshman year. People still trying to figure out game planning. Who is this Joe Cremo guy?
Right.
Oh, he's pretty darn good. Now this year as a starter, they all were locked into Joe Cremo. So
right.
a lot more difficult to get his shots up and to get in the flow of the offense because the teams were focusing on Joe Cremo and David Nichols.
Lots of fun in the future for Albany athletics. I do have a bone to pick with you, Roger Wyland. Big Board Sports. I'm listening today, of course, because I listen every day. And you said that the Knicks hit rock bottom when they lost to Brooklyn. And I said out loud, Phil Jackson somewhere just yelled, "Hold my beer," because I can do worse.
They can get lower than that.
Somehow somewhere somebody just went challenge accepted. I don't know if it was Mello, Phil, who it was, Dolan. Like in a season where you have offended your royalty, that your president is going after your superstar, I just know that they can go lower. I know they can go, and I'm afraid that you have just said to them, "Show me." I mean, you might be right. You might be right.
Challenge accepted.
I hate challenge accepted. I hate to see them go lower than when that one was. I mean, they gave up 39 points in the first quarter.
They didn't play.
I mean, they don't play. They just don't show. Why does Carmelo Anthony want to be a part of this? Why? I mean, I get it, the happy wife, happy life.
Right.
I get all that. But at the tail end of however many more years he's going to play, doesn't he want at least a chance to make a run at a championship and go somewhere where that can happen? Because it's not happening anytime soon in New York.
Guys, you follow them closer than any of us have with your orange underwear on right now.
Yeah, I didn't wear a lot of my Syracuse stuff today. So
yeah, he's all black. He looks like he's going to a funeral.
Hey, going to NIT.
Oh, great, wonderful.
But I think I think Melo's one of those guys who's just going to go, "You're not going to tell me where to go, and you're not going to tell me when to go there. I don't care what else happens."
Yeah. Clearly, that's what his mindset is. But you would think, from a competitive standpoint, everything else aside, that he would go, "You know what? This team just stinks.
Yeah.
We are not going anywhere. Jackson's a goof. He doesn't know what he's doing, and I need to go to a team to make a run in the playoffs somewhere, even to win a championship. Get me into the playoffs, make it exciting. I'm a competitive guy. I won a national championship at Syracuse. I don't know what his mindset is, but it's not what I think it should be.
Syracuse isn't in the tournament. The Knicks are doing terrible. Can you give us some good news, Roger? Can you give us like one positive for like an office pool? I'm not going to ask for your Final Four, your national champion, like an upset, like a team you like. I won't even put you on that much at the spot.
Well, the team that I do like right now, and I've watched them play over the weekend, I like the way Notre Dame is playing.
Okay.
Now they're a 5. They got Princeton in the 25-9. I like how he coaches, Ray. I really do. It's not easy at Notre Dame basketball. A lot easier at Notre Dame football to get everybody you want into that program. Notre Dame basketball, not so much. And I think that guy does a great job coaching. I'm kind of thinking Notre Dame maybe makes a little bit of a run there in the West.
Hungry,
I like it.
Hungry,
but I haven't filled out my
back-to-back
bracket yet. I haven't done it yet.
We've got the.
Have you?
No, I literally sat down last night because I like to do one right away, and I was going to do our bracket challenge at 1045theteam.com.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
We're all going to go against each other.
Yeah.
And I started doing it, and I was like, you know what? I need time. Like I know that a couple of the upsets I'm looking at. Like I think Florida State got a miserable draw against Florida Gulf Coast. But aside from that, like as I look around, there's a lot of chalk for me, and I know that's the
Yeah.
kiss of death.
I keep scratching teams off and writing Syracuse over the team, hoping that somehow they'll be in. Hasn't worked yet.
I know one thing. That South is loaded up, man. If you guys look at that South,
Yeah.
I mean, the number 1 is Carolina, and then you got Kentucky, the 2, and UCLA, the 3. That's got to be the South. Has to be the toughest region.
So much fun to be had. We're just beginning our bracket talk, of course. What's life like for Roger Wyland now that it's just big board sports and the Mighty 1-3?
Once I get through this week.
Oh, right. You got to get through this.
I got to deal with you Albany women somewhere. Selection show tonight at 7.
Oh, very
so they're
cool.
going to go somewhere, and then I'm pretty sure they'll probably be a one and done. It's great that they're back in this situation again. That's year number 6 in a row for them, but they're not as good as they were last year when they beat Florida. But yeah, so you Albany women, little you Albany men this week, and then things do calm down.
And then Roger gets a life back.
It's just a couple of jobs, and it's all good.
One of the hardest working men in local showbiz, Roger Wyland, Big Board Sports, 10 to noon, every weekday right here on the team. Looking forward to competing with you in the Bracket Challenge.
Can't wait, man. Thanks for having me on, guys.